Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Coaching from the Couch. This is your Washington Commanders update. And I am your host, C Wall, checking in as I love to do all throughout the NFL season and sometimes in the off season as well to give you the latest and greatest updates on the Washington Commanders. I'll give everybody an opportunity. You are joining the live discussion, so I'll give you a chance to get on in the live discussion room as we go through some of the housekeeping items. Why don't we? And if you're checking in, hit that love button, hit that like button, drop in the chat a hey, Seawall, a hey, what's up? Bowie TV family, a hello, fellow Washington Commanders fans, to your fellow Washington Commanders fans as we're going through these housekeeping items. This is a live Bowie television recording. Everything we say and do here just may end up on your television screens. Verizon Channel 11, Comcast Xfinity Channel 77. Each and every single day, 1:30 to 2:30, you get to watch the Coaching from the Couch series. And over the weekend, it comes on during the noon hour. Like I said, you all are watching the live. This is Coaching from the Couch, Washington Commanders update. Make sure you say hello to Mama Waller. Make sure you say hello to Pops Waller. I see folks are already checked in. Chief of DC is already in the building. Who else is also watching? Love, like, fire emoji. Not so bad today. Not so bad today. As is, it is a what? It is a Victory Monday. Now, isn't it, Chaplain Mazdak? Yes, it is. And I want to put this comment on the screen. Are you still in the Atlanta airport? Let me just say this. All right. No, I am not, as we are coaching from the couch, right? But thank you for asking, number one. Number two, what a doozy of a day. That at the Atlanta airport is something else. All I have to say about the Atlanta airport is people are joining the live discussion, and we have a lot to talk about. So we're going to jump right on into it after I get over this, because I do need to go ahead and get this off my chest. Get there early and expect to be late. So if you get there early and expect to be late, then you will be on time. I know that might sound confusing, but Atlanta's airport is something that you got to have a moment, have something good to read, because it's a lot that happens. And a lot of it is waiting in long lines. Washington Commanders fans, are you with me? Are you watching? Love button, like button. You can still share this show with your Washington Commanders loving family and friends, as we are going to get into the nitty gritty of the Commanders' win in Atlanta versus the Falcons. It was absolutely full of burgundy and gold the entire weekend. I'm talking about from the moment I got on the plane, the moment I got to the airport at BWI, just the whole way, the whole entire time, everything, everywhere we went, everywhere. Washington Commanders fans, you showed up. You absolutely showed up. You showed out, and the Commanders got the W. So let's get on into the conversation. We, of course, have some press conferences I want to share. Absolutely want to get into some of the pictures of who are your favorite players, favorite moments of the game, all of those things. But we got to do this first. You all know the drill. What's your one word, Commanders fans? What is your one word to describe how you were feeling once the game was finally over? Once the game ended, the final score was on the scoreboard. The Commanders were on the win side of things. Now have 3 wins in the win column so far on the season. What was your one word to describe how you were feeling with the win? Chief of DC says you were relieved. Kim says lethargic. And if you are just joining, you are watching from the Culture from the Couch series, Bowie Television, Washington Commanders update. Hit that love button, hit that like button, and you still have time to share this show with your Washington Commanders loving family and friends. Mama Waller says she felt relief. Relief. Any other words for how you were feeling? Because let me tell you, my word was tense. It was tense. And it was still like I had things to say. I had things I wanted to talk about. And John Adams, you still have time to put in the chat what your one word, as well as your one word, DJ Bland, on the Commanders win over the Falcons. It was tense. It was a lot. It was a lot of things, but they came up with the win. They came up with the win, and I think relief is a bit everyone felt. Of course, the day starting out, and we want to continue to send prayers to Charles Leno and his wife and family on the loss of their youngest daughter, and just all of the emotions surrounding that, as well as, and that's most important. That's all of the things, right? When it comes to family and what is needed there, and their thoughts and prayers being with their teammate, their brother, all of that. But it was just a lot, that game, because it was just, the fans were there. Absolutely. No questions asked. That the fans were in the building. But this Commanders team absolutely needed that win. A win is a win. The alphabet matters, but I was not pleased with a lot of the things that I saw. Now, before we get into all of the feel good stuff, or maybe we should get into the feel good stuff. Let's do the feel good stuff. Let's do the feel good stuff before I start getting all critical with my perception on things. While I am going to show and share with you all some of my favorite moments of the game, special shout out to Darrell Owens. Tag him, let him know, show him all the love. Excellent job. Yes, Bobby Brown performed during halftime. We got that out of our system because we checked him out during sound check early in the morning. But there was some good times. There were some things that happened in the game that I thought were fun. While I'm sharing what I really enjoyed, drop in the chat some of your favorite moments of the game with some of your favorite players and plays from the Commanders week 6. While I get into this, we're going to get into this, and then we're going to go into the press conferences. First things first, as you all may have seen in some of my posts, it doesn't happen so often anymore after the pandemic. I was able to be on the field. That was fun. Yes, footballs are flying everywhere, but hey, just keep your head on a swivel. You'll be all right. But one of the moments that I loved is always at the beginning, when the team is trying to get charged up, when they're trying to just enjoy themselves and just really get focused in on the game day. Gotta give a shout out, Curtis Samuel, yet again. Love button, you all. Where's the love button? Where's the fire emojis? Curtis Samuel being utilized, enjoying himself, teams enjoying him as well. Great, excellent game. He's been getting used the whole entire time. And let's see if some of you all's favorite moments are also my favorite moments as well. Terry McLaurin was getting all his targets. Love button, you all, fire emoji for Terry McLaurin. Absolutely. Kudos to Terry. One thing about Terry, he's going to make an impact one way or another. We've seen Terry make of course, touchdowns. He passed Pierre Garçon for 10th in his yardage for the franchise. Terry's going to make an impact, whether it's making a key tackle, whether it's getting a fumble recovery, whether it's just catching the daggone ball, doing the daggone thing. That's Terry McLaurin. That is what he is going to do. Brian Robinson Jr., did he or did he not crack somebody, bulldoze, bum rush, whatever needed to happen in order to get on into that end zone? Yes, he absolutely did. Shout out to B-Rob. So many of the players had a ton of family in the building as well. And Brian Robinson Jr. had a ton of family and friends there. They were all wearing 8 jerseys. Antonio Gibson, I give him a hard way to go because he fumbles the ball, but you know what? He did not do that yesterday. He too had a bunch of family and friends there wearing his jersey, as did Chris Rodriguez Jr. Beautiful, beautiful families. And before, let me see. I think I'm going to keep on going down the list. This guy right here. And then I'm gonna pause because I want to get to y'all's comments. Jamison Crowder, I absolutely, please love button, please fire emoji, because you know what? Jamison Dag on Crowder, and I see this comment from Lamar Bland about what's wrong with Jahan Dotson. 2 straight weeks with 2 uncharacteristic drops. I think it's 2. So I don't think we're going to worry about it. It's 2. Jahan is fine. They're working with Jahan. It's moments where it's like things are moving fast and you got to make a move. I wouldn't be too concerned with 2. Jahan knows what's up. He knows what the deal is. And I think he's going to make a correction. He's going to make a change. But here's the notice. When he does that, he's not targeted anymore. He understands that. He made a key catch just against the Eagles when the pressure was on. So we're going to keep watching that. But Jahan is fine. He's all right. That's one of the things that Coach Rivera mentioned today. He's okay. There's a lot of talent on offense. You all saw, like I said, Chris Rodriguez Jr., DJ Bland. I see your comment here as well. Key runs. He had a lot of family in the building, a lot of 23 jerseys as well. So it was good. It was good. The offense they did a good job. Now there were things that of course it's just not enough. Put it like this, you all. And actually, Coach Rivera, I had to kind of laugh and say, it's just not enough touches to go around. It's just not enough snaps to go around, because I think there's always opportunities for Chris Rodriguez Jr. to get more touches. But then you got Brian Robinson that's trucking people, and when Antonio Gibson is on, he's on. Right? We see that. Then we see, okay, Logan Thomas makes a move. Then Logan Thomas may have a key drop. Then the first thing is, well, why isn't Cole Turner being used more? Why are we doing more with Cole? Then going back to the wide receivers, it's like, okay, we're getting the ball in Terry's hands. You get the ball in Curtis Samuel's hands, and he makes a move. You want to see more with the connection between Sam Howell and Diami, which we have not seen work as much as we thought we would see this season as well. So I'm going through all of these names and I'm going through all of these instances because things that we thought would work immediately, we don't see it work. We don't see it work immediately. Then they got to go to another person, and they do. So we just got to see. I think they're all still trying to figure it out. I think they're all still trying to see what they have, what's going to connect, because sometimes things that we may have seen work all the time in practice and on game day, it doesn't. So it's still very much a trial and error, but I don't mind so much the trial and error if the team still comes up on a W. Now, if it's in a critical moment, because you all have heard me be critical of actually Jahan, and then he turns around in a key moment, he makes it happen. Same thing with Logan. You all know I absolutely get critical of Antonio Gibson because of the high level of expectations that even I have for him, and then he turns it on. So it's one of those things where you just have to see. You all probably saw it on Bowie TV's site. I posted it as well, captured by Darrell Owen Sr. The Taylor Heineke, Sam Howell jersey swap in the end. Absolutely gotta love it. That's the game right there, you all. Yeah, during the game, all of that. But please understand, these guys are friends, these guys are brothers. It is very much a family first brotherhood situation. It's all love at the end of the day. Let me see. So who do we have? Did we give a shout out to Jamison Crowder? Did anybody shout out Jamison Crowder? Listen, I have been asking for a Jamison Crowder, special teams touchdown. It wasn't already a touchdown, but I'm gonna tell you, key indicator of the importance of good field position, which leads me to this guy right here, QB1, Sam Howell. Sam is taking a lot of sacks. We'll get to that in a moment, but I can tell you this. Sam doesn't hold the ball so long, and we've seen and we talked about this. Now, let me take myself and me get back here. We've talked about this before, where there were second half of the Denver Broncos game. You saw it toward the end of the Eagles game. What could happen if the timing of how long the O-line is going to hold up and when Sam Howell can get the ball out? Critical, critical, critical if it could happen. Because you got to think of it like this. If Sam Howell is taking as many sacks as he is, which is not good, right? And it is not all the offensive line's fault. We definitely saw Sam Howell hold the ball too long against the Falcons. If he's not seeing his reads, no, he's not fumbling. No, he's not. It's not turnovers, but he's holding on to the ball too long. If he doesn't like his reads versus throwing it away, he just holds on to it, or it seems like it's a situational awareness thing, which I really want to know a little bit more about that, because I'm impressed with Sam. I am impressed with Sam. But if he's not taking all of these sacks, wow, what a quarterback he would be for certain. And if you are just tuning in, this is from the Coach from the Couch series. This is the Washington Commanders update. I am your host, Seawall. Bowie Television live recording. Hit that love button. Drop a fire emoji so I know that you're here. Share this live discussion with your Washington Commanders loving family and friends, because we're talking all Washington Commanders. You can watch this show every day. Verizon Channel 11, Comcast Xfinity Channel 77, 1:30 to 2:30, and on the weekends during the noon hour. And make sure you are subscribed to Bowie TV. We have television shows, all of the Commanders, Ravens content that you want to just love and watch all day. Bowie TV at BCMC TV Maryland on YouTube. Trust me, you'll love it. I still have more pictures because I have a lot of people I want to talk about. But going back to Sam Howell for a moment, I think I know why this coaching staff believes in Sam Howell for certain. And I want to go back to something I shared with you all back during the summer, and you've heard Sam say it, you've heard Jahan say it, which is they practice 2-minute drills all the time in practice. And that's why if you notice, they got that down to a science, right? So if you start to look at, if you're doing that in practice and it's resonating, okay, here's what I know about practice, at least from when at least when media was still able to watch the entire practice. Like I told you, they practice that 2-minute drill thing, game simulation. Now I'm wondering, in-game simulation during practice, is it one of those things where, because we know when we were watching it, when we were able to watch all practice, we were like, okay, that's a sack. That's a sack. That's a sack, right? But the play needs to be over. in practice. In practice, the play still isn't over because the defense you can't tackle in practice. So you're not actually tackling the quarterback. You're not really getting into it in that way. So I start to think there has to be a way where Sam understands that his clock is over. It's done. That's a sack. They're gonna get you. You got it. And maybe they're already doing that. We'll have to find out. We'll have to ask we meeting me when I get a chance in press conferences. So I want to keep my eyes on that because I know how attentive Sam is. And the game day is so much faster than practice. So I understand. But now it's like, okay, you're a few games into the season, and this is dangerous. And while he's still doing well, very well, stats wise, it's like, well, okay, but look at how much further things would go if you're not taking so many sacks. So let's see what happens there. More pictures, Jamin Davis. And this is one of the press conferences because Jamin was giving me a hard way to go in the press box. I'm serious. I was being very critical of Jamin. Like, what in the world? And Jamin saved the day. He did save the day. And Kyle Pitts was giving him a task at hand. Seemed like Kyle Pitts was giving the entire defense a task at hand, for sure. And they were just having a hard time matching up. But shout out to Jamin Davis, and you see right there 3-1. That's Cameron Curl. Got a picture of him right here. Just because I'm always so impressed by Cameron Curl and the leader that he is, and just got to shout him out all of the time. Shout out to Benjamin St. Juice. That's something you all may not hear me say too often, but I'm going to say it today because he definitely did catch that end zone interception. So we got to shout out BSJ for that. And I think I saw somebody comment, huge 2-point conversion stop by Jonathan Allen and Khaleke Hudson. And that is definitely a name. I know some people are talking Cody Barton or Khaleke Hudson. You all drop in the chat. Who would you prefer to see? Who would you like to see? I tell you one thing, Khaleke Hudson made his presence known. Okay, so we shall see. We shall see what happens. We shall see what happens. But I think that's the player that I know I knew he could be, and I believed him to be. So we'll continue to see what happens. So about to go ahead and jump on in to press conferences. Let's see. Look, I don't even know. Let's see who's up first. I think it's Jamin Davis. Snippets from press conferences, or actually I think it's the whole entire press conference. You all drop in the chat what you all think of what's being said, what's being shared during the press conference, and let's talk about it a bit. So first up, Jamin Davis.
Just one of them situations where you knew they kept trying to isolate me with 7 because, he's a dangerous guy. He's real shifty. So just trying to anticipate what I knew what was coming, just short down in distance. It was probably going to be a double move or something coming inside and just let instincts take over, I guess.
How hard was he to defend in the past game? What challenges did he?
Anybody that's pretty shifty going to bring up a threat each week. So just knowing that, just watching the situations that Del Rio tried to put us in to help out and just played your rules. That's all it really boiled down to.
So when you're in that situation, though, how much you just have to narrow it down to what you think he's going to do? Like, was it an easier route for you to, I guess, anticipate?
In a sense, yeah, but a lot of it boils down to preparation as well. Just knowing like different type of things that you see on film and just letting instincts take over, like I said.
How important with the losing streak and particularly that last game was it kind of, bring things to a halt here and kind of turn the momentum back in y'all's favor a little bit? How big a win is this for y'all?
It's a great feeling, of course, but we just got to keep rolling. We always gonna have outside noise and all that trying to get in the way, but we never pay attention to any of it. We just gonna keep balling and keep doing what we got to do.
How important was Jameson's return in the first quarter just to kind of get a spark going there?
Oh yeah, definitely. That got me a little excited actually sitting watching it unfold. But yeah, like I said, on all 3 phases, everybody gonna go out there and do what they have to do, and just going forward, that's what it's gonna be.
After the last game, against the Bears, and to come back with this kind of win, how important was it just to get back in this and kind of get that out and get some momentum going?
You always want to get that bad taste out your mouth at the end of the day. So just setting our feet in, backs against the wall. We never gonna fold at the end of the day, and just get this thing rolling.
To have a third linebacker out there with you guys at times, that was an odd look.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah.
That, for this game, kind of makes sense with that run heavy opponent. So
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, like I said, getting a chance to get Leak out there with us, getting rolling and stuff was pretty cool. So I know he probably was fired up as well, and all 11 hats falling to the ball.
Was the matchup kind of different, knowing that they really don't have like really super fast like receivers out there, but more bigger, big tight ends, big receivers? Did that change up y'all defense any much?
I mean, regardless of who we playing, we still just got to play down to our standard at the end of the day, and just like I said, preparation is the key to everything, and going forward, that's how it's always going to be. So, yeah, you got guys that's bigger or whatever it is, or whether it's a shifty guy, like I said, it's just all preparation.
If you are just tuning in, you're watching from the Coaching from the Couch series, the Washington Commanders Update. I'm your host, Seawall. This is a live Bowie television recording. Everything we say and do here will more than likely end up on Bowie TV, Verizon Channel 11, Comcast, Xfinity Channel 77 every day, 1:30 to 2:30, and on the weekends during the noon hour. Drop in the chat, what are you thinking right now in terms of what Jamin shared? I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Sam Howell's press conference. At this point in the season, are the Commanders too far off? Here's what I want to know, and drop this in the chat. Are they too far off from where you thought they would be? I'll tell you what I think. I think yes, I do. I think I'm. Are they that far off the win column? No. Right at this point, I thought they would be at 4 wins versus 3. Okay, and that would be the Bears game. But I do think that there's still some areas defensively that I would have expected more from. A bit more scary defense, a bit more, they're coming up on the win. Like I said, it's only a difference of 1 game, right? But it's still some areas where I'm kind of like, thought I was going to see more there, even offensively, to the point of, a Jahan or at times Logan, of course, Antonio. There's a few plays. We're moving forward. Absolutely moving forward. But there's definitely some plays in some areas that I know the players would want to get back. So if I would want to get them back, I'm so certain that the players would want them to get back as well. And I will jump to Mazdak's comment. I think they're a bit better than last year, but not as good as I expected. Yeah, and maybe it'll come. One thing about this past week, and I'm sure you all have seen that, and then we'll jump to Sam Howell's presser, and you all drop in the chat what you, again, are they exactly where you thought they would be? Are they better or are they worse? Definitely want to pulse the audience on that one. A lot of injuries happen across the league. It's about that time. In week 6, it's about that time. And so a lot is going on. Prayers up, get well soon to all of the injuries that are happening. And, the injury bug hit the Commanders a bit. So let's hopefully, the bug stays away and stays at a minimum. And so, we shall see here. And I see Kim says they're worse than she anticipated. I wonder if EB is holding back on the playbook to give them a push towards the end of the season by opening up later. I'm not sure about that. I think that they're still trying to gauge what they have, right? I mean, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got going on. And I don't think it's not necessarily holding back. It's just that if certain areas are struggling, then you want to try to do what's best in that moment and what you think is best. I think we've seen a taste of what the creativity could be, but sometimes the execution isn't there. And I think that goes back to Lamar's comment about Jahan and others that we've noted as well. Offense is what I expected, but the defense has been lackluster overall with some bright spots. And then I see, like you said, because those screens are beautiful when executed. It's the execution part of it. I think we've seen the creativity. We've seen what it could be. But when it flounders, it flounders. And I think that's where it's like, okay, do you pull back or do you hit the gas and say, get this right next time? I think it may be not so much him holding back on the playbook, but maybe this is a speculation now based on just what you just commented on, a not holding back on the playbook per se, but holding back on his approach to that player on make sure this happens. Do not drop the ball next time. Do not fumble the ball next time. Those sorts of things happen. So I see this comment from Joe Hall, my Uncle Joe. Worse than anticipated. They don't seem hungry. I do see the intensity or fire on the field that was present during the winning years of this team. I'm glad you brought that up because I'm gonna go back to that point of hunger, and we're gonna go to Sam Howell's presser, which I was wondering Thursday night, right? Thursday night football. The Bears were more hungry. They both had a short week. They both had tough losses. The Bears were winless on the season. So who came hungrier to dinner? The Bears. That's who prevailed. So what in those moments in the trenches, what happens? I mean, did you just have a bad night? Sure, you did have a bad night. But how many more bad nights, bad days are you going to get? Because everybody's clamoring at a championship. Everybody's clamoring at a championship, not just division, not just playoffs. They want it all. They want a Lombardi trophy. They want one of them bedazzled rings, the real ones, not the replicas, the real ones. So we'll have to see, but it does seem like other teams come out with a bit more oomph. Because to the point of overall execution, think about some of the plays they could get back. Execution works could be the difference in a score at the end of the day. So we're going to jump to Sam Howell's presser. Drop in the chat what you think about what Sam is saying here. This is a bit longer, around 5 minutes. Check it out.
How much did it help to have those short fields that you had a couple times?
Yeah, Jameson, I told him after the game that was one of the things that really helped us to win this football game. I think our defense did a good job putting us in good situations with the turnovers, and then obviously that punt return gave us a short field, and we were able to get 7 points off of that. So, yeah, that was huge. And whenever you can kind of get sparks from whether it's the defense or special teams, it definitely helps the offense. It gets a good defense in Atlanta. They did a lot of good jobs, a lot of things really well on defense, and kind of made some things tough in the passing game. But I'm just glad our defense played well, and we were able to take advantage of some opportunities that we had on some short fields. But I think the main thing is we know we have a lot of stuff we can clean up. We know we can play better, and that's a good football team. Atlanta's a good football team, and so it's exciting when you can win, but you also didn't play your best game.
What did you see from Brian Robinson on the screen pass for a touchdown, especially at about the 2-yard line?
Yeah, honestly, man, that was a great play by him, and we had I think we had like 3 linemen that were able to get out on that play and kind of block for him. But yeah, just the screen game has been something that's helped us a lot this year, and I thought it was a great time for that play call. Good job by EB, and we just executed. And B-Rob made a pay at the goal line. I didn't. No, everyone was talking about it, but I really didn't get a good chance to see it. But I can't wait to watch it on film.
Ron emphasized this week the do your job line. I don't know what you thought about that initially, but do you think that it resonated with the guys, considering like so many people today who really had a big contribution?
Yeah, it's one of those things where everyone's always kind of focused on doing your job, but when he stressed it all week long, do your job. He put signs up around like you guys probably saw, and I just think it kind of makes everyone really lock back in and focus on what is my job, what am I supposed to be doing, how can I contribute to the team, and how can I help this team win football games. And I think everyone fully bought into their role this week as a team, and we were able to get it done. So we just got to continue to get it going moving forward.
Was it an added emphasis to get Terry more touches early? It seemed like that was a focus in the first half.
Yeah, we knew, we script, the first 15 we call it, and we script plays, and we know Terry had a good opportunity to, be the primary in a lot of those plays and get the ball, and we knew we were going to see a lot of man match type coverage against them, and we know our guys were going to have to win, and Terry's a guy that excels in man coverage. So yeah, we always want to get Terry going, and we want to get everybody going. Just talking to the guys, man, there was a lot of, I don't think Curtis and Jahan didn't have very much involvement in the passing game, and that's just something we got to continue to get better at moving forward. And those guys know it's only a matter of time. And at the end of the day, they were happy to win. But yeah, I mean, Terry did a good job, and all those guys did a good job when their number was called.
Ron talked about your internal clock. It seemed like you were pretty crisp, pretty on time today. Is that something that sticks out to you? Is that something you've been working on, or what did you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, always trying to get better, and I think they do a really good job in coverage, and made it tough at times. And I think obviously we had probably a good number of sacks again today, and I thought our O-line for the most part did a heck of a job. I think a lot of those sacks were more coverage sacks. And when it's a coverage sack, it's on me, and I got to find a way to, either try to take a short completion or find an incompletion. I thought they did a good job kind of covering the checkdowns and taking those short completions away, and kind of made it tough on me to find an incompletion. But that's just something I got to continue to get better at. But those guys up front did a heck of a job, and they fought till the end.
Sam, as you start to stack up some games here, some starts, do you have an understanding that this isn't going to be just kind of a straight upward progression, that there's going to be some bumps along the way?
Yeah, I mean, every single game is different, and you really never know how each game is going to go, and there's going to be ups and downs throughout the season. But I think the main thing is you got to find little things that you're really trying to work on and really trying to focus on each and every week to make sure that you're continuing to make that growth. And I feel like we've done a good job of that so far, and not only me but everybody. And our coaches have done a really good job of kind of pointing out each week what the focus is. I think every position has something they can do a better job of, and our coaches are doing a really good job of kind of pointing that out and then giving us the plan of how to do that throughout the week.
Real quick, when you are getting hit and going through the sacks, are you consciously like, I got to protect this football?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's another big thing is like, there's certain situations where maybe a fine incompletion is not as good as taking a sack, especially when you're trying to run some clock out or something like that. But yeah, just trying to keep two hands on the ball in the pocket at all times. I had that one strip sack in the first game, and that's something that really hasn't happened to me much, but it's just been a kind of point of emphasis for me as we've gone throughout the season is take care of the ball. And if, at the end of the day, if you have to take a sack, take the sack. But yeah, I mean, that's just something we've been working on.
You mentioned that O-line. Cornelius stepping in at left tackle. How did you feel like the front did with him?
Yeah, did a good job. Big Luke, we call him. But yeah, he did a heck job stepping in today. Obviously, thoughts and prayers are with Leno and his family. It's just super tough to hear something like that happen with one of our teammates, one of our brothers. So we're all behind him and supporting him and his family. But yeah, I mean, he did a good job stepping in today and kind of fulfilling Leno's role. But yeah, we definitely miss Leno out there and hope to get him back out there soon. But no, at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that are bigger than this game of football. And God will be with his family and strengthen him throughout this time, and we'll continue to do the same.
Really enjoy Sam Howell. Really enjoy Sam Howell. So you all, hey, listen. Thursday, we'll do the entire rundown of the weekly DMV sports, and of course, we'll do an emphasis on all the games because next Thursday I will be out. So we'll have to talk about the Giants and the Eagles, and then we'll have next Monday the live discussion as well. But the Commanders have two good ones coming up. Two good ones. They got the Giants, right? They got Saquon back, and of course, now Daniel Jones may be back for the contest against the Commanders, and then the Commanders will see the Eagles at their house at FedEx Field, which is another sold-out game. One can only hope there's more Commanders fans than Eagles fans because the Eagles fans absolutely do travel. So we will see what happens. You all, thank you so much for hanging out on the live discussion from the Culture from the Couch series, Washington Commanders Update. I'm your host, C. Wall again. This is a Bowie Television live recording. We hope you all enjoyed all of the conversation. I will see you guys again soon.